Have you ever wondered about the depth of a dog's loyalty? What happens when that bond is tested by separation and uncertainty? Today, we're diving into a story that will touch your heart and redefine what you think you know about devotion. This is the story of Leo, the dog who waited. Our story begins in a quiet, ordinary town with a man named John and his faithful companion, a golden retriever named Leo. They were more than just owner and pet. They were family. Every morning started with a game of fetch in the park, and every evening ended with Leo curled up at the foot of John's bed. Their lives were a simple, happy rhythm, a perfect harmony of companionship. John, a retired carpenter, found his greatest joy in Leo's boundless energy and unwavering affection. For Leo, John was his entire world. One sunny afternoon, during their usual walk, the unthinkable happened. John suddenly collapsed, clutching his chest. Panic filled the air. Neighbors rushed to help, and soon the wail of an ambulance siren cut through the quiet neighborhood as paramedics carefully placed John onto a stretcher. Leo watched, his tail no longer wagging, his eyes filled with a confusion and fear he couldn't comprehend. He tried to jump into the ambulance, whining, desperate to stay by John's side. A kind paramedic gently held him back, saying, "It's okay, boy. We'll take care of him." The ambulance doors closed, and the vehicle sped away, leaving Leo alone on the sidewalk. But Leo didn't go home. Driven by an instinct he couldn't ignore, he started to run. He followed the sound of the siren, his paws pounding the pavement, his heart racing. He ran for what felt like miles, his senses guiding him through unfamiliar streets, past bustling crowds, all focused on one single goal: finding John. Finally, panting and exhausted, he arrived at a large, imposing building, the city hospital. The scent of the ambulance, the faint, lingering smell of John, it was all here. He saw the ambulance parked near the emergency entrance and knew with absolute certainty that this was where they had taken his best friend. He couldn't go inside. The automatic doors were a barrier he couldn't cross. So Leo did the only thing he knew how to do. He waited. He found a small patch of grass near the entrance, lay down, and fixed his gaze on the sliding doors, his vigil beginning. Days turned into a week. Hospital staff, patients, and visitors started to notice the lonely golden retriever who never left his post. He became a silent fixture of the hospital entrance. Nurses would bring him water and food, which he'd accept gratefully but without losing focus on the doors. Security guards, initially wary, soon understood. They gave him a nickname, the Guardian. People would stop to pet him, whispering words of encouragement. "He's waiting for someone," they'd say to each other, their voices filled with awe and a touch of sadness. Leo endured scorching sun and chilly nights. During a heavy thunderstorm, a nurse tried to coax him under an awning, but he refused. Only moving slightly closer to the building, never letting the entrance out of his sight. He was patient, resolute. His world had shrunk to this single spot, this single hope, that the next time those doors opened, John would walk out. The hospital community became his extended family. They made sure he was safe and fed, marveling at his incredible loyalty. His story began to spread, first through the hospital, then through the town's local news. He wasn't just a lost dog anymore. He was a symbol of hope and unwavering love. Inside the hospital, John was fighting his own battle. He had suffered a severe heart attack and was in critical condition. For days, he was unconscious, unaware of the faithful friend keeping watch outside. When he finally woke up, his first groggy words were, "Leo, ... where's my Leo?" The nurses, their eyes welling up, smiled. One of them, a nurse named Sarah, who had taken a special interest in Leo, showed John a picture on her phone of the golden retriever waiting patiently by the entrance. Tears streamed down John's face. The thought of his loyal companion waiting for him day and night gave him a strength he didn't know he had. It became his motivation, his reason to fight, to recover. "I have to get back to him," he told the doctors, his voice filled with determination. Every physical therapy session, every painful step was fueled by the image of Leo waiting. He knew he couldn't give up, not when his best friend was counting on him. Weeks passed. John's condition slowly but steadily improved. He was moved out of intensive care and began the long road to recovery. All the while, Leo remained at his post. He had grown a bit thinner, his coat a little less shiny, but his spirit was unbroken. The hospital staff continued to care for him, sharing updates on John's progress. It was as if Leo understood, his tail giving a slight wag whenever he heard John's name. Finally, the day came. The day John was cleared to go home. The hospital staff decided to make it a special occasion. They wheeled John out to the main entrance, his heart pounding with anticipation. Sarah, the nurse, walked beside him, holding the door open. And then it happened. The automatic doors slid open, and there he was. Leo, who had been lying down, instantly sprang to his feet. His ears perked up, his head tilted. For a moment, he seemed frozen, as if he couldn't believe his eyes. Then a low whine escaped his throat, and he launched himself forward. Leo John cried out, his arms open wide. The reunion was a beautiful explosion of pure joy. Leo leaped into John's lap, covering his face with licks, his entire body wiggling with an ecstasy that words can't describe. He whimpered and barked, a symphony of happiness and relief. The crowd of nurses, doctors, and onlookers who had gathered erupted in applause, many wiping away tears. They had witnessed the culmination of weeks of faith and devotion. The guardian's wait was finally over. His person was back. As John hugged Leo tightly, he whispered, "You waited for me, boy. You waited for me." In that moment, surrounded by the caring community that had looked after them both, it was clear that this wasn't just a story about a man and his dog. It was a story about the power of love, the strength of hope, and the incredible, unbreakable bond that can exist between two souls. Leo the Guardian was finally going home, right where he belonged, by John's side. Thank you so much for joining us for this incredible story. If it touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more uplifting content. We'll see you in the next video.